Boys and girls, Alex here. First thing I want to do is apologise for calling this mini table saw a mini Mac. It's not a mini Mac, it's a micro Mark. Repeat, micro Mark, and I do apologise to both the supplier and anybody that I led astray. Now I don't know whether I published a video about this table saw sled I made for it, only because, look, I'm not 100% confident or happy with this and to hold it on. I'm more confident with the sled. I made this sled and I thought to myself, well, it comes with two blades, although there is a metal cutting blade. I could quite easily whip up another sled, so not a problem. However, I then thought to myself, well, if I want to do a beveled angle, I'd probably need more than one. To use the same sleds for all the different ones, you've got to bugger up the curve. And I don't particularly want to make sleds. So how do I create a sled with a zero clearance skin or an insert? Because it's only a 3mm base, you haven't got much beef to play with. Anyway, I managed somehow. I've come up with this. Very similar. The only difference is, as you can see, fits in, slides beautifully actually, I'm quite impressed. The only difference is, it comes with, I call them skins, you can call them inserts. And they fit in like that. Now the way they're meant to be held in is, and I'm only building it, look, I won't be showing the construction of it, but I'll show you the theory. It'll be, I've got these little bits of timber that will then get glued on the front there. There's my dowel alignment holes, so everything gets lined up. And also the complementary ones for the back here. And you may notice, well, you won't until I show you, that there's these areas reserved, whoops, and this one will be up the front, reserved to accommodate the zero clearance. Now the way I'm going to attach the zero clearance will be with these rib nuts, which is basically you screw into them. The way it's set up, here we are, here's a test one I've done, is they act like pop rivets. You slap them in there. Naturally, you'll find I've got two layers. The bottom layer of MDF is to take this collar, and the second layer is to captivate the thing. Now, I'm hoping that they'll actually line up so that I can do it. Now, these will be glued in place. I will then pop those rivets in and we shall see what happens. As I said, I'm not going to waste your time building because you can actually see what's happening here. I've got a bit of faith. Oh, I haven't actually glued these runners in. They're really designed to sit loose. Well, when I say loose, but loose only because if they wear, I can just as easily take them off and put new ones on. That, again, everything will depend on how humidity will affect it. Alright, now, what am I going to do? Oh, that reminds me too, I might have to shave these down a little bit, because these are 3mm and I think the mitre track is actually 2.5mm, and there is that little, they are sitting higher. Look, at the end of the day you'll get away with it because, oh no, I don't like that. No, they've got to come down. So I'll probably take them off, put them through the drum sander Oh, that's a tight fit. Wish they were both like that. Yeah, put them through the drum sander just to drag them down a little bit. Okay, that's it for the video. Or well, that's it for this part until I get the tracks or everything on. I was quite pleased with myself getting this far. Nice tight run. I haven't glued these in, although they do come off quite easily. However, I have flattened them, so there's no tilt, it's lying flat. Now, I actually screwed up big time. My intention was to use these riv nuts, put them in there, and as you can see, they're supposed to go under that 3mm layer. The problem was that when I rigged it up, and I'll just show you, and look, this is not so much, well, it can be for your advice, but more so a note for myself if I ever use this bloody things again. When I did the pop rivet, when I did those, I put them straight in, which meant that the collar was right up against the bit of wood here, which meant that any expansion was on the other side. But when I had that other 3mm here, like say for example, if I have that there, the shoulder of this outer rim here sat on that, which basically meant that that shoulder did not sit on the bit of wood between. So what happened was when I popped the rivet, it expanded on this side of that hole. The only good thing about that was it didn't bugger up the whole template, whole jig, and I just pulled it out. But what I've done is I can still use the same concept, because this is how it's going to work. You get your skin, but you know, just grab a spare skin, put it in, so you notice it's quite a tight fit. I have to do a bit of coaxing to get it to work, but that's good. But then what I've done is I've made up these other blocks to fit on top. I just do this side because that has to be glued in place, and as you may notice with the laser it's quite tight. Now that is just the right size for that one of these nuts. Put that in there, and then what I was going to use anyway, use these screws, but now I can put it in the nut. Now I was going to use this as the original design. The only reason why I opted for the riv nuts is because once you set the riv nut, it's part of the jig. These nuts, when you take the screw out, the nuts can go flying, and guaranteed, when I take the screw out of the 6 screws that are there, at least 2 nuts are going to fall on the floor, bounce all over the place, and I'll spend about an hour looking for the bloody things, and then eventually I'll go and get another nut. But there you have it. Okay, now, what have we got? That, then it's really a case of putting the rest on. However, I'm not going to do that because I've still got to glue. Oh, there goes the runner again. I might have to glue these runners on. I deliberately didn't glue them on just in case humidity changes them. I can then swap them out. But anyway, we'll see. That's got to be glued on. Fortunately, with the laser, it's such a nice tight fit, and because I've got these sides on and everything all in place, I don't have to do any more other than just push them into place, glue them, and that's it. And they're also the same for the one at the front, except put it up the right way, and that's it. And then from then on, everything being equal, we'll give it a test run. And here we are, 2 spare skins or ZCIs for the thicker curve or any angle you might like, and I can laser cut these. You know, it takes what, 30 seconds to cut one of these on the laser. More trouble just setting up the laser. Okay, I'm going to now just glue this up and go on from there. I have it glued up and ready to actually put on the buffer, just to buff this up a bit. I might give this a quick sand before I buff, although I don't think I need to. I'll just buff it up. I still haven't glued those on, so I've got to make sure they don't go flying. And now really all it is just a matter of attaching these screws and making sure they are below the surface of the unit. I haven't screwed it up. Oh look, I might do it just so. Why might I do it? Just to keep it together while I'm buffing it. I don't know whether you saw that, but all it is just putting a nut on that side. I could probably save myself all this bloody manual labour and use my
IGA have low prices locked on a range of great community code products.
Like community code tasty pea slice 250 grams.
that's just below the surface. Yeah, look, safe film. This is turning into a bit of comedy of errors. Fortunately, I can fix everything. When I was screwing on the bottom, because of the fact that that recess was there for the lip of that, there was really no support for this, and when I tightened that up, it pulled through. Fortunately, well, you know, for some reason it didn't damage the template, but what I've done is I've just cut out a couple of these bracket or spacers which I put in there, and that'll pack it out, so basically that will now give, and here we are, sitting in there, support for the screw. So we shall now try that exercise again, and yeah, as I say, I was doing it off the camera and I got lazy. I thought, oh bugger it, I'll go and get my drill. I put it on to a very low torque, and I thought, well, why not, you know, bugger it. Yeah, it just pulled through, so I had to dismantle it so I could take the screw out. Now let's, there. Oh look, you know, with that support there's no problem. I don't think there is any. Anyway, I'm now going to turn the camera off again and do it. Okay, I'm back. And look at that. Lo and behold, it's working. That seems to be holding on okay. The screws are not touching the tabletop. That is solid as a rock. That seems to be okay, nice and flat. Let's see, I can even probably put a stop block on. I don't think my stop block has changed. Hang on, I'll use my push nut. Come on. Of course, yes it will, should. Yeah. No, I'm not happy with that at all. That's not gripping. Bugger it, why is it? That's just not gripping at all. Where is it? No. That should be able to be tightened up much more than that. God, this, oh, that could be why. Looks like I've never really tried these nuts on this because they do work beautifully laterally, but it looks like sideways movement doesn't agree with it. So, well, you know, shit, this is just turning into a real comedy of errors. The only good thing about it is so far is that at least when I fuck it up, at least somehow I managed to salvage it. Now where's my other knob? Here we are. This is the other one. This one's a little bit heavier because it's got those extra layers of MDF, which is potentially double the weight of it. No, well, yeah, because I've got quite a few layers of equivalent of 6mm. Now, what are we doing here? That goes on there. Look, I might as well, I think I'm going to give this a try and see what happens. Although I'm hesitant for only one reason, that I'd like to give it some a tung oil and maybe a bit of a buff before I do cut that piece, because then that'll be in two halves. Hopefully it shouldn't matter, but that's it. So yeah, I'll buff it up, come back and then see. Geez, I don't know, because I should tongue that before I buff it. Yeah, I'll go and buff. Oh boy, back again. Actually, it's been a couple of days since my last session, but that was only because, hang on, I'll bring this down. That was on because I buffed that up naturally, as I said I would. And I finished up tung oiling this. The problem is that I saturated it with tung oil, and it's going to take a few days to dry, and I'd rather have it dry before I start slicing through it. And nevertheless, in the meantime, there's a couple of things I thought of. One was, to put in another skin on the side. I've sacrificed 3mm. However, having said that, if I have to make another thing, I could maybe use a 3mm in there and the skin rather than 6mm and the 3. The main reason for the skin is that when I do a curve cut, it's going to come up on the fence, and sometimes it's easier to align with the fence than along there. Well, I tend to align on the curve cut, but as I said, I replace all the skins, and naturally the curve on the out feed should match the curve on the bottom. So yeah, as I said, I did that. The only thing I will say is to put this skin on before you glue that up, otherwise this is going to get in your way. Or put the skin on before you glue that on. Fortunately, the little festool gets in there and just manages to do the trick. I've got other corner things that just aren't, it seems bulky, but their profile is nowhere as good. But anyway, the whole idea is they're screwed on so they can be taken off. There is a relief point in there, so if I ever make another jig, the wing on this side wing, that's going to be extended 3mm, so that'll captivate that. It won't hold it against the surface, that's why it's there, but at least the alignment will be there. The holes will be laser cut for perfect alignment, which means that if I put another skin on, it's got to line up with the same holes on the back piece, so I don't perforate this piece with like a bit of Swiss cheese. The other thing I did do, where the hell did I put it? Oh no, here we are. I was talking about a not ZCI, a blade guard for this. I have come up with these. Unfortunately, I haven't attached them because, again, they're all tung oiled, and I'd rather wait till it dries out a bit before I glue it on with super glue. But the intention is to just glue them on there. Alright, that bit's open, but the blade will be there, but if you try and bring your hand down, it will protect you, and it's about a mil short of the back there, so it's above that, and that will, as I said, I mean, look, if you take the thing right through, of course you can do it, but by the time you've done your cut, the blade will be pretty well protected. At least that's the theory behind it. As you can see, another one of these skins, although the drilling of the holes was an afterthought. I hadn't done it on that one. As I said, they're to be done. Few more skins, they're all waiting to dry out, so I can't say much. Look, I'm going to cut this video short because cutting on this is no different than cutting on that, and you've seen it in the other one. Oh, one other thing. I did find that there is a right side and a wrong way of mounting these nuts. I don't know, I think that, no, I don't know whether you can tell the difference, but if you, oh, hang on, that goes on there, press the button, push that through, and if you put it on this way, you can tighten it up as much as you like, not a problem, that won't move. However, I found, and I mean there's no instructions about this or anything like that, if I put it on this way, and there you have it. It's bloody done it to me. It works this time. I don't know, look, I give up. But I did find that doing it one way worked, doing it the other way didn't work. But there you have it. And that's it. So what more can I say? I've done a few little cuts on here. I actually did, doesn't matter, a few things to, no, alright, I'll show you. To captivate, because I'm using the sled now, I needed to be able to captivate the fence, and I've just rigged up this little unit to, I mean, it's nothing smart or clever. The only good thing about it was that I actually did all that shit on the Minimark, though I was using the standard thing. And that's it. Yeah, listen, I did cut this out on my laser, naturally on my laser, and all the SketchUp diagrams and the CorelDRAW diagrams will be available. SketchUp is good for the simple reason that you can easily change it. Like, this is based on 6mm. If you wanted to up it, you could use SketchUp to rescale it from 6mm to 1/4 inch, or you can use other software. The problem downside is, as I said, it uses 3mm, 6mm MDF, 6mm, oh sorry, and 4mm dowels. It does use 6mm nuts and bolt or screws. As I said, the CorelDRAW is available, also will be available. However, I know not everybody has CorelDRAW, but Inkscape, which is a freebie, will read CorelDRAW files, will create SVG diagrams or SVG files that can be fed or used by other laser software. So really, because of the mortise and tenon and the way this is, and the dowel alignment things, you just print it and assemble it. It fits together like a jigsaw, and no real modification is needed unless you want to customize it. And as far as I'm concerned, feel free to do it. Listen, that's it. Who knows, I might actually show a quick video making the first cut, but look, I've done enough of these recutting skins, and that's no different to that, other than the fact that it's got a skin. So it's just wasting footage. My biggest concern is now, what do I do with this? Because I don't think I'll need it, because I've got this. Alright, boys and girls, I've cracked on far too much. Thanks for watching. Uru, and keep safe.